If your stomach feels fine all day, then turns into a tight gassy balloon at night, you're not imagining it. Nighttime bloating is common because your body, your schedule, and your food choices line up in a very specific way. Gas can come from swallowed air, from bacteria fermenting leftovers in your gut, or from slow movement of food through the intestines. And at night, you're often sitting more, eating later, and winding down in positions that change how gas moves. The good news is that most of the time, the cause is trackable. You can narrow it down by looking at timing, portion size, specific ingredients, and habits like how fast you eat. In this guide, you'll get a simple mental model for why it happens and a practical set of experiments to reduce it. No complicated protocols, just clear steps you can actually test over a week or two. Let's start with what gas really is and where it comes from. Moving to slide 2. Bloating and gas get lumped together, but they're not the same thing. Gas is the actual air in your digestive tract. Bloating is the sensation of pressure or fullness, which can happen with or without a lot of gas. Sometimes the belly looks bigger because gas is stretching the intestines. Other times it's fluid shifts, constipation, or your gut muscles tightening in response to discomfort. That distinction matters because the fix depends on the driver. If it's mostly gas, you look for fermentation triggers and swallowed air. If it's mostly bloating with slow transit, you look at fiber timing, hydration, and bowel habits. And if it's sensitivity, the same amount of gas can feel much worse. At night, people often notice it more because the day's food has finally reached the colon, where bacteria produce the most gas. So the timing can be delayed by several hours. That's why lunch can haunt you at 10 p.m. Moving to slide 3. One big reason gas shows up at night is fermentation. Your gut bacteria love certain carbohydrates that you don't fully absorb. When those carbs reach the colon, bacteria break them down and release gases like hydrogen and methane. This is normal biology, but the amount can spike depending on what you ate and how fast it moved through you. Common fermentable triggers include beans, lentils, onions, garlic, wheat-based products, certain fruits, and many sweeteners. These are often grouped as FODMAPs, which is just a label for carbs that ferment easily. You don't need to fear them. The goal is to notice your personal dose. A small serving at lunch might be fine, while a large serving at dinner becomes uncomfortable. Also, mixed meals matter. Pairing fermentable carbs with a heavy fatty meal can slow emptying and push fermentation later into the evening. So it's not only what you eat, but when and how much. Moving to slide 4. Another nighttime trigger is simply eating a lot late. When you stack most of your calories into dinner, your stomach has to stretch more, and your intestines get a bigger workload right when your activity level drops. Large meals also increase the chance that some food isn't fully digested in the small intestine, which leaves more for bacteria later. Eating close to bedtime adds a second issue. You're more likely to lie down while digestion is still active. That can make pressure feel stronger, and it can also worsen reflux for some people, which gets confused with bloating. A practical approach is to keep dinner satisfying but not enormous. If you're truly hungry later, a smaller, simpler snack often causes less trouble than a second full meal. Also, watch liquid volume. Chugging a big drink with dinner can temporarily increase stomach distension. None of this is about perfection. It's about reducing the total load your gut has to process at the end of the day. Moving to slide 5. A sneaky cause of nighttime gas is swallowed air, also called aerophagia. You swallow more air when you eat fast, talk while chewing, drink through a straw, chew gum, or sip carbonated drinks. That air has to go somewhere, and it often shows up as burping, pressure, or gurgling later. Carbonation adds extra gas on top of that, because carbon dioxide is literally dissolved in the drink.
Some people tolerate it fine. Others feel uncomfortable with just one can, especially in the evening. Another overlooked factor is hard breathing patterns. If you're stressed and breathing shallowly, you may swallow more air without noticing. The fix here is refreshingly simple. Slow your pace. Put the fork down between bites. Skip gum after dinner. And if you love sparkling water, test a week of still water at night and see what changes. This is one of the easiest experiments with the fastest feedback. Moving to slide 6. Fiber is healthy, but fiber timing can backfire.
If you have a huge salad, bran cereal, or a fiber supplement late in the day, you may be adding a lot of bulk and fermentable material right before your gut slows down for the night. Some fibers are more fermentable, like inulin and certain prebiotic additives. Those can create impressive gas in sensitive people. Other fibers, like psyllium, tend to be better tolerated, but dose still matters. The goal isn't low fiber forever. It's choosing the right type and spreading it out earlier. A simple strategy is to move the biggest fiber hit to breakfast or lunch, then keep dinner fiber moderate. Also increase fiber gradually. If you jump from low fiber to very high fiber in a day, your bacteria will throw a party and you'll feel it. Pair fiber with enough water because dry bulk can slow transit and increase pressure. Think of fiber as training, progressive, not sudden. Moving to slide 7. For many people, nighttime gas is really a constipation story. When stool sits longer in the colon, bacteria have more time to ferment, and gas gets trapped behind slower-moving content. You might still be going daily and still be constipated if you're not fully emptying or the stool is hard and slow. Clues include straining, small hard pieces, or feeling like you're not done. Evening bloating can also happen if you skip the urge earlier in the day, then everything backs up. The most helpful levers are boring but effective: consistent meal timing, enough fluid, and regular movement. A short walk after dinner can support gut motility without being intense. Also consider your morning routine. Many bodies respond well to a predictable breakfast and a few minutes of unhurried bathroom time. If constipation is the main driver, focusing only on gas foods won't fully solve it. You have to improve flow so gas doesn't get stuck.
Moving to slide 8. Certain food intolerances show up strongest at night because dinner is often the biggest exposure. Lactose is a classic example. If you don't make enough lactase enzyme, milk sugar reaches the colon and ferments. That can mean gas, bloating, and sometimes urgent bathroom trips. Another common issue is fructose malabsorption, where certain fruits, juices, or sweeteners overload absorption capacity. And for some people, sugar alcohols like sorbitol or xylitol, often in sugar-free products, cause major gas. Gluten is more complicated. Some people react to wheat because of fructans, which are fermentable carbs, not necessarily gluten itself. The only way to know is structured testing. Pick one suspect category, remove it for a week, then reintroduce a normal portion and observe. Don't change 10 things at once, or you'll never know what worked. If symptoms are severe or persistent, it's reasonable to discuss testing with a clinician, especially if there's weight loss, anemia, or ongoing diarrhea. Moving to slide 9. Nighttime bloating isn't only about food. Your nervous system plays a big role. Stress can change gut motility, increase sensitivity, and shift breathing patterns, all of which can make gas feel worse. There's also something called visceral hypersensitivity, where normal stretching in the gut registers as pain or strong discomfort. That doesn't mean it's in your head. It means the gut-brain signaling is turned up. Evening is a common time for this because you finally stop moving. Your attention turns inward, and the day's stress catches up. Practical tools here are simple and low risk. Try a slower dinner pace. Build a short wind-down routine after eating, like a gentle walk, light stretching, or a few minutes of calm breathing. Also, pay attention to sleep. Poor sleep can worsen pain sensitivity and digestion the next day, creating a loop. If anxiety is a major driver, addressing it directly often improves gut symptoms as a side benefit. Moving to slide 10. How you sit and move in the evening changes how gas travels. When you're upright and walking, the intestines get gentle mechanical stimulation, and gas can move along instead of pooling. When you slump on the couch for hours, pressure can build, and you may feel more distended. Then when you lie down, gas can shift and create a new sensation, sometimes higher in the abdomen. This is why a short, easy walk after dinner is such a classic recommendation. It's not about burning calories, it's about motility and positioning. Even 10 minutes can be enough to notice a difference. Another helpful habit is to avoid tight waistbands at night, because external pressure can make internal pressure feel worse. If you're prone to reflux, lying flat soon after eating can also add discomfort that feels like bloating. Try to give yourself a little buffer between your last full meal and bedtime. You're not fixing digestion, you're giving it better conditions. Moving to slide 11.
Let's talk about specific dinner patterns that commonly trigger nighttime gas. First is the healthy but huge bowl. Lots of raw vegetables, beans, and a high-fiber grain, all in one sitting. That's a fermentation buffet. Second is the fat and fiber combo, like a heavy creamy meal plus a large salad. Fat can slow stomach emptying, and the fiber adds bulk and fermentation later. Third is the protein bar and sugar-free dessert situation, where sugar alcohols and added fibers create gas fast. Fourth is the spicy plus greasy combo, which can irritate the gut for some people and also worsen reflux sensations. You don't need to eliminate these foods forever. You just want to change the dose and timing. Cooked vegetables are often easier than raw. Smaller bean portions can be fine. And if you love a big salad, moving it to lunch is a surprisingly effective tweak. Your best diet is the one that feels good at 10 p.m., not just at 10 a.m. Moving to slide 12. If you want results, use a simple troubleshooting plan instead of random changes. For 1 week, track 3 things: what you ate at dinner, the time you ate, and your symptom score at bedtime on a 1 to 10 scale. That's it. Then run one experiment at a time. Experiment 1. Stop carbonation after 3 p.m. Experiment 2. Reduce dinner portion by about 20% and add those calories earlier in the day. Experiment 3. Swap one high FODMAP dinner ingredient for a lower fermentation option, like using rice instead of wheat or cooked zucchini instead of a large raw salad. Experiment 4. Add a 10-minute walk after dinner. You're looking for a clear signal, not a perfect night. If one change drops your symptom score by 2 points or more, keep it and move to the next lever. If it does nothing, you learned something valuable. This approach makes the problem measurable, and that alone reduces frustration. Moving to slide 13, a quick word on red flags, because not all bloating is just normal gas. If bloating is new and persistent, if it's getting progressively worse, or if it wakes you from sleep regularly, it's worth taking seriously. Also, pay attention to unintentional weight loss, blood in the stool, ongoing vomiting, fever, or significant changes in bowel habits that don't settle. Those signs don't automatically mean something dangerous, but they do mean you should get checked, rather than self-experimenting indefinitely. Another reason to seek help is if you suspect a condition like IBS, celiac disease, or inflammatory bowel disease. These require proper evaluation, and the best plan depends on the diagnosis. For most people, though, the biggest wins come from the basics: meal timing, portion size, carbonation, fiber timing, and stress load. So here's your wrap-up. Pick one lever for the next 7 days, keep notes, and aim for steady improvement, not perfection. If you want more practical gut troubleshooting like this, subscribe. And for a quick check-in, comment A or B. Is your nighttime bloating worse after a big dinner, or worse after healthy, high-fiber foods? This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Fix the metabolism, not just the symptoms.